Listen to Kovai Vani. Enjoy the podcast by our enthusiastic young residents. Kovai Care is the best place to retire.
Vanakkam.
Greetings from Kovai Vani. We have with us Sankara Ramnath, a chartered accountant and cost accountant by profession, and a teacher, trainer, coach, and mentor in areas of business, career, and personal finance. He started his career with Larsen & Toubro Limited, heading the accounting, management planning, and control systems, and then served as an executive director of a cement company. Currently, he is into consulting, helping entrepreneurs build and grow businesses. He is a certified mentor coach and a visiting faculty at leading management institutes. His book, Business is All About Money, is being released next month. As a senior citizen himself, it will be interesting to hear him talk on seniors being caregivers to super seniors. Over to Sankara Ramnath.
Hello and namaste. My name is Sankara Ramnath. I'm a senior citizen, 66 years old, and I'm blessed that I have been and continue to be a caregiver to very senior citizens above the age of 80 in my own family and extended family. Thanks to medical advancement and technology, today this situation of senior citizens being responsible for taking care of very senior citizens, or elders as I call them, is quite common. So I'm going to speak today about the challenges and possible solutions, the pain and the pleasure of a senior citizen taking care of elders, and in the process share some experience on elder care. A human being has 4 facets: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. All the 4 put together constitute good health. So to assess the total health of an elder, we will have to measure their physical quotient, mental quotient, emotional quotient, and spiritual quotient. A high quotient means good health. So we have to find out ways and means of improving their individual quotients so that the total health quotient also improves. We can assess the health of elders on these quotient. This need not be based on any medical tests, but just an assessment based on what you see and observe and based on your interactions with the elders. Let's do a quick measure of these quotient for elders and what we can do to improve their total health quotient. Let's start with the physical quotient. Physical quotient is assessed on 3 counts, namely in terms of strength, endurance, and flexibility. Strength, for example, is the ability to lift things. Endurance, for example, is to stand for a period of time without support. Flexibility, for example, is the ability to bend and move around. Obviously, the physical quotient for very senior citizen is low with age, but one can rate them as good on physical quotient if they can manage their day-to-day activities on their own and do not suffer from any chronic illness. So how can you help elders improve their PQ? Actually, it's quite simple. Let them do all their tasks by themselves. But watch them, supervise them, keep an eye on them. The daily chores or tasks are a good physical exercise which will improve their strength, endurance, and flexibility. It will also help them in maintaining their hand, eye, and body coordination. They might need some aids like a walker, but being independent will improve their physical quotient. Many a times, out of anxiety that they should not be inconvenienced, we do all their chores. This can be counterproductive. Yes, we can make it safe for them by making their living and bath area anti-skid with proper support and railings. But let them be independent. My father, who just passed away at the age of 94, till his last, used to wash his clothes in the washing machine and hang the clothes on the clothesline by himself. We only made the clothesline at arm's length and at his height. So the act of putting the clothes in the washing machine, taking it out, going to the balcony to the clothesline, hanging them, removing them when dry, folding them and putting them back in the cupboard was a good enough exercise to keep him active. Let them be independent to the extent possible, but remain close to them, watch them, supervise them like you do for young children. Maybe that's why we say that as one gets older, we become like a child and hence treat them as one. Let's talk about the mental quotient. Mental quotient is intellectual ability. You would have heard of IQ or intelligence quotient. In the case of very senior citizen, it is more of mental health. If their mental health is good, they can be high on intelligence and intellect because of their experience. My uncle, who died a couple of years back at the age of 84, was physically very weak. He lived with only one lung for 60 years, but was mentally very active with voracious reading and listening to Carnatic music. He used to love the Sudoku in the Hindu paper daily and used to solve it till the previous day of his death. However, with age, there is some degeneration of brain cells. This could affect their mental health. Some may have dementia and other related diseases. In such cases, they will require medical help. In case they are mentally ill but physically active, then it can pose a lot of challenges since they can sometimes absent-mindedly hurt themselves, become violent, leave the house without any intimation, etc. In such cases, apart from medical health, one can use technology to take care of them. Thus, a CCTV camera in their room and a physical tracker can help monitor them. Such elders need a lot of empathy and patience since they themselves do not know what they are doing. Let's talk about the emotional quotient or EQ. EQ is all about social interactions and relations. Elders who have lived a good life are emotionally very strong. In fact, this is their greatest strength and this helps them overcome physical and mental stress. They like to be with people. Sometimes there is a drop in the EQ, especially when they lose their partner or worst case, their children. They need attention and emotional support during this time. Being with them, talking with them, family meets and family get-togethers act as a very strong support and positively enhances their EQ. Also, an elder who is physically or mentally ill can become emotionally weak. Hence, any illness, physical or mental, should be treated medically rather than ignored as old age problems. Being physically and mentally active helps in the emotional well-being. Let's talk about the spiritual quotient. Spiritual quotient is all about passion. Many equate it with religion or faith, but it can be a passion of a hobby. For example, cooking for the family, music, gardening, doing what you love to do. Having a positive spiritual quotient can help improve all other quotient. In the case of my mother, taking care of my father's need was her passion. It is what kept her going even though she had to undergo severe physical problems. The continuous thought that she must take care of her husband was a strong motivating force for her to come out of a series of surgeries even at the age of 84 and 85. After my father passed away, she started the passion of listening to music and reconnecting with others in the family. Her grandchildren helped her with the smartphone operations, and now she watches and hears her favorite singers on her own with earphones on YouTube. In fact, you can even hear her singing now. Passion needs to be nurtured and encouraged. Here, the younger generation have a role to play in helping the very senior citizens find new ways to further their passion. You would have heard of a granddaughter who converted her grandmother's cooking skill into an online business venture, helping a very senior citizen become an entrepreneur. All these stories are a pleasure to hear, and one feels happy to see and hear this. So, all right, while we have been talking about very senior citizens or elders and the challenges and the joy of taking care of them, what about the senior citizens themselves who must take care of these very senior citizens? Well, if you are a fresh senior citizen who has just retired and continue to be active, you would rate yourself high on all counts: PQ, IQ, EQ, and SQ. However, as a senior citizen, you yourself go through a turbulence in your life. You have completed, or you would have completed, an exhausting professional career and would be looking forward to some rest and recreation. But the responsibility of looking after elders can be daunting. A senior citizen under these circumstances also need to reinvent themselves. He or she must use all the professional skills of management to organize himself or herself. First and foremost, you must follow the airline principle. You would have heard the air hostess saying that in the event of air turbulence, you must be the first to wear the safety oxygen mask before helping others, including your own children. In the circumstances that we are talking about, the very senior citizens are the children, and hence you must take care of yourself before taking care of them. You must ensure that you are physically fit, mentally active, emotionally strong, and have a passion of taking care of your own elders in the family. I have experienced that when you serve the elders, you automatically feel young and energetic. That is not to say that this is an easy job. You need to organize and put systems in place in 3 areas. Number 1, regular finance and asset management. Not just yours, but also of the elders in terms of regular bank operations for expenses, ensuring nominations for all assets and preparation of wills. Be prepared for resistance from elders, especially in the case of preparation of wills, but the least you must ensure is proper nomination. It can give them immense satisfaction. You also need to create an emergency fund for hospital expenses and take health insurance if possible. You must be aware of the documentation for health insurance. You must develop a network of doctors, hospitals, and health caregivers. This is the second area which is extremely important. You must have systems in place for emergencies so that elders can get immediate attention. Associate yourself with the hospitals in some way so that they can help in emergencies. When elders are in hospital, there are many decisions you will have to take, especially if they are in the ICU. The doctor will ask your permission for various procedures. You must be ready to take difficult decisions and answer them, like whether to do an emergency operation or to put them on a ventilator. It is better to be prepared with all options as they involve conflicting emotions and implications, and you need to be in the right frame of mind to think what is good for the elders. Third, you will need the help and support of many individuals: your spouse, siblings, relatives, and friends. You will need to keep them in the loop. Sometimes putting the very senior citizens in an elder's home is the only option, but ensure that they are well taken care of and go as often as possible to be with them. Don't hesitate to ask for help. Elder care is not a one-person job. You need a team, and that's why I said you need to organize and put systems in place. You need to be a good time manager, managing your time well to look after yourself and the elders. You need to be passionate about elder care. The fuel for this passion is to remember the pain and the struggles the elders have endured for you to ensure what you are today. That gratitude is what will drive the passion. If that gratitude is not there, the entire structure of each family taking care of their elders will fail. Remember that your own children are watching how you treat your parents. Hence, when you take care of your parents and the elders in the family, you are setting a positive example, which, along with the blessings of the elders, will help you when you become a very senior citizen. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Thank you and stay tuned.